Wow. Another beautiful day on the Anchorage, the French Riviera. There's a lot of grass underneath us. Just freaking beautiful. But we got some things to talk about. And we got to talk about power. Energy. Having electricity is one of those things you just gotta have to have a comfortable life. And after 7 years of living on this boat, Aquarius, I think I understand a little bit more about what it takes to be happy and what you need to be happy in regards to power. The Admiral has all the power though. Let's take a look at how much power it takes to run this boat and to do various things around the boat. How much power does that take? What's the percentage of our battery that it takes? How much would it cost to do these things if I was on land versus in a marina versus running my Genset? All those things have answers. Let's dig into it a little bit, take a look at it, and cue the intro. In order to have days like this, you're going to have days like this. This is Tips on Tuesday. We're going to talk about what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. Stay tuned so you don't feel like doing this. If you like these videos, please subscribe and give us a like. And if you have anything to add to the conversation or any questions, please leave them below. First, we need to know a few facts about power and energy before we can really dive into it. So the first question, what is a watt? A watt is a measurement of power. Say someone asks you how much power do you need to heat hot water in the morning for your cup of tea. Man, it's just too early in the morning. So how much energy does it take to heat up the water in the morning? We need a new one. Well, that would be about 1,000 watts you need to run your kettle. But you can't buy 1,000 watts from the grid. You're billed in kilowatt hours. If you run your kettle for 3 minutes, that's 1/20th of an hour. So we divide it by 20. After doing all the math, you get about 0.05 kilowatt hours. In Las Vegas, you pay about 16 cents per kilowatt hours. So 0.05 kilowatt hours times 16 cents per kilowatt hour, that would be about 0.8 cents. That would be less than a penny in Vegas. Now, in the marina that we're going to be going to, it would be twice that, because it's twice as expensive for power in the marina. So it would be just a little over a penny, 1.6 cents, to heat your hot water in the morning. We only have 300 liters of water left. How much energy does it take to make water? Now, our water maker burns about 17 amps at about 26 volts. That's about 450 watts. And our water maker makes about 40 liters per hour. Now, if we run it for an hour and make 40 liters, how much energy did we burn? 1 hour is about 0.45 kilowatt hours, or about 8 cents. Not much, right? In the marina near Barcelona, we would have to pay 16 euro cents to make 40 liters of water with our water maker. Minus 58 amps. Who's using all that power? Ooh, laundry. Okay, now that everybody's an expert about all this power shit, let's talk about my battery bank. I have 900 amp hours at about 26 volts. So what would it cost me in the marina to charge from 0% all the way to full? 900 amp hours times 26 volts is about 23 kilowatt hours. So what would it cost for 23 kilowatt hours of power? 0.32 euros per kilowatt hour. So just multiply it by 23 and you come up with about 7.50 euros. That's it. It'll cost me 7.50 euros to charge my battery bank from 0 to full in the marina. But what if I wanted to run my 3 aircon units for 24 hours a day, full bore, for 30 days? Well, let's get into the math. 600 watts per air conditioner times 3 times 24 hours a day times 30 days times 0.32 euros per kilowatt hour equals 415 euros. Shit, aircon is expensive. Just think what it would cost to heat or cool one of those super yachts in the marina. Now I know why those super yachts cost $1 million a week to rent. So how much energy is it going to take to heat the water for my shower this morning? That's 57 amps. And we'll leave it on for about 15 minutes. So how much energy did we burn? And you'll notice I didn't turn on the genset. We're using this baby right there. That's a multi-plus. And in a second, it's going to start its fan because it's going to heat up. You can hear the fan going now. It has fans. How many fans do you have, multi-plus? I'm sure a lot, because you do so much. You're a multi-plus. I think it's time for a shower. So 57 amps times 26 volts is about 1500 volt amps. And we do that for 15 minutes. That is about 1/4 of an hour. At 1500 volt amps or watts will be 0.375 kilowatt hours, which really isn't that much. If we do the math, that's 1.6% of our batteries. But what would it be if I had my old batteries? Using my old batteries, it would have been about 6% of my usable capacity. And that doesn't include the energy to make the water I used while I took the shower. We also have a 100 amp charger on our main engine. Actually, it's a 200 amp alternator. But at 1900 RPMs, we only get about 100 amps. I pull the belts off when I don't want to charge the house batteries using the main engine alternator. It's a wonderful day in the anchorage today, and we're getting ready to take off and head to the Amel Med office. We got some parts we got to pick up, and that's, I can't really pronounce the name of the place. It's Jerez or something like that. But we're going to be heading over there today. We're currently right next to Saint-Tropez, which is right over there. And now we're going to be heading off. But one of the things, you know, it's been cloudy and rainy the last couple days, so we haven't had as much solar. So our batteries are a little bit low. And one of the things that I do is I don't keep the house generator or alternator on my engine all the time. I just take the belts off. So I'm going to put the belts on today, get my batteries all charged up before we get over to Jerez. And that's it. So let me show you how we put the belts on. So here are the tools we need. Right there, that's it. 1, 2, 3, and the belts. So let's get down there and check out the engine room and get this done. One of the things I always do is always check to make sure my bilge pump is working right. I check to make sure that the fluid levels are all right. Everything looks good. All right, let's get these belts on. Okay, do this one-handed. The one-handed mechanic. Belts are tight. Now let's get this one tight. So there's two. There's this one here that you tighten up, and then there's a bolt right over here. And this one you got to get 2 wrenches on. So let's do that. And that's it. We're done. This thing is ready to rock and roll. And we should be all powered up by the time we get to our destination. Took about 10 minutes. So on a boat, one of the things you want to make sure is when you leave the engine room, you got all the tools that you entered the engine room with. And that's it, right there. So I had to try it out. We got 80 amps. That's exactly what we're supposed to be charging at. And everything is looking good. So when we rev up to about 2200, it goes up to about 160 amps. We don't really want 160 amps going in, so we'll just run it at 1800. Can you go check what the amperage is at 1800 RPMs, 1900 RPMs?
139.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, we're good to like 200
Right now
with
it's
this.
75.
All right, so maybe we'll just run 1600 RPMs all the way. Back to my 23 kilowatt hour battery bank. This baby can put out 1000 amps fairly easy for 8 hours straight. I've got a 500 watt fuse. There's no way more than 500 amps is getting out of this box. So when I'm running the bow thruster, which is about 450 amps to 480 amps, you can't be doing much else. It draws a lot of power. That thing burns a lot of power. 450 to 480 amps at 26 volts. I used to call that the ML battery killer, but now it's just the bow thruster. Now down here in the engine room, our Genset makes 6 kilowatts and burns 2 liters of fuel per hour. So what would it cost just in fuel to charge our batteries from 0 to full? Well, let's do the math. You can't really charge your batteries at 6 kilowatts. Our washing machine is emptying. All right, I can continue. You can't charge your batteries at 6 kilowatts unless you spend a fortune on a battery charger, because that battery charger would need to charge at 235 amps. Now most boats charge at about 100 amps, between 2.5 and 2.6 kilowatts. So on most boats, it would take 9 hours to charge your batteries, or 18 liters of fuel. 18 liters of diesel is at least 36 euros. So that is the cost for clean clothes. Now that that's over, it would cost you at least 36 euros to charge your batteries from 0 to full, just in fuel. So unless you want to do a lot more with your power when you start your genset, might be better to get a lot more solar. There goes that. I'm getting interrupted. I don't like this. So what does it cost for power out of the genset if you use all the power? To hell with all those noises down there. Let's just come up here, do the math, see what it costs. So it costs 4 euros per hour just in fuel to run your genset, and that will make 6 kilowatt hours after 1 hour of use. Therefore, it will cost you €1.50 per kilowatt hour. But you will probably only use half the power, and you do have many more expenses while running your genset. So it will probably cost you about 4 euros per kilowatt hour to run your genset. Power is much cheaper in the marina or at home in Vegas, so best to conserve. On our solar arch, we have about 600 watts of solar panels. 600 watts makes about 600 watt hours of power every hour for about 5 hours a day when the sun is up. That would make about 3,000 watt hours during the whole day, each day. So we add about 3 kilowatt hours per day just off the solar panels. And we burn about 6 kilowatt hours per day. So we lose about 3 kilowatt hours per day, and that's about 1/8 of our battery capacity. Therefore, if we're full of power, we can run just about 6 days without doing anything. And if I want to be totally sufficient on power, I can put out my extra panels. And right here, I've got some extra panels that I can put on the bimini, and that'll give me another 3 to 3.5 kilowatt hours per day, which makes me completely self-sufficient. Unless, of course, I want to run that air conditioning system, or heat a lot of water, or make a lot of tea. Chargers. We have 2. We have our Victron Multi-Plus down here. And we've got and this is our old one that was on the boat when we bought it. I don't like Mastervolt. Those things are trash. But these babies, they're good. And some people might say, oh, you can't use those old things to charge lithium iron phosphate batteries. That's bull. This thing works just fine. So we have our 100 amp and our 70 amp Multiplus. This means I can charge for about 1 or 2 hours at about 160 amps, and then they heat up, and I'm only charging at about 100 amps total with both chargers working. Now this video might raise more questions than answers for some of you. So if you have any questions, watch a few of my other videos. I have links below. And if you have a question that's not answered by those, put them in the comments below, and I will try to get to all your questions. If you get a lot out of these videos, make sure you subscribe or become a Patreon. But back to you, Z.
If you like this video, give us a like down below and click here to subscribe. That really helps us. And if you want to watch more of us, click one of those.
They said they came from Spanish Virgin Islands.